This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is your host, Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain, the county's Community Information Director. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Today I'm joined by co-host David Hunt. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors, the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Kevin. How's it going?
It's going good. A lot of rain here. The ground's pretty soft by my house. How about you?
Yeah, I can't seem to mow my yard. There's not enough time in the day. It starts raining every afternoon, and it's been a challenge.
Well, things are turning green. Hey, Dave, also in the studio today with us is Clayton Jackson. Clayton is not new to the county, but new to the Community Information Division, and he's going to be our new activity project manager, replacing the infamous Gary Davidson, who I guess is, we're trying to prevent him from retiring, but I guess he wants to retire. I don't know. But good morning, Clayton. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, good morning. Appreciate it. I'm just hoping to keep the ball rolling with Gary. We do share a similar haircut. So I said, well, I've already got that out of the way, so maybe I can, pick up a few of his skills that he's already had in place for a few years. But very, very grateful and fortunate to be a part of this wonderful team, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody.
Well, there's one thing about Gary. He did bring hot dogs for everyone one morning when we came in to do Volusia Today. So just something to keep in mind for the future.
I will keep that in mind.
some food
I think,
helps.
Dave, that's a pretty obvious hint, right?
Now, do you prefer mustard or ketchup with that, though?
See, I'm going to break the rule. I'm a ketchup guy.
Okay. I'll keep
Well,
that in mind.
Here's the thing, though. Gary did that, but I think he still owes the hot dog to Gary Davidson. I'm sorry, to Gary Daniels and Jared Clifton. He left these guys out, man.
It's tough.
Well, with us today is Tom Cisco. Tom's our guest today. Tom serves as the activity project manager. Actually, he's the deputy director of the county's emergency management division. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me today.
Hey, thank you for being here. So first off, magical question, what's shaking in the tropics right now?
All right. Well, I checked this morning. There's a couple disturbances out there that there have very little chance of formation right now at 20%. But then we do have Tropical Storm Fiona. Looking at it, all the consensus models right now have it going towards Puerto Rico, touching Puerto Rico and then turning northward, and then actually pushing out into the Atlantic and not affecting the United States at this time. So,
You promise?
no, I will not promise. But, that's the consensus models, and of course, it's at least 7 days out if it would affect Florida. So.
Yeah, so Fiona, hopefully it's just a little bit of rain. That's from the intern, right? Renee Rosso, is that who Fiona was?
My generation, it was from Shrek. Yeah, my generation, Shrek.
That I'm familiar with Shrek with that reference.
Excellent. So I always like to ask the question, Tom. You guys, your team, you're constantly preparing for all sorts of hazards, not just hurricanes, but all sorts of things. But when you're not, monitoring a storm, I know you guys are now. But what is normally the day-to-day business operations of emergency management within the county?
All right, one of our, and probably our primary mission that I would consider is to make the county more prepared and more resilient. And we do that through going out and do presentations to homeowners associations, different organizations, and tell them how to prepare. And when I go out, I don't just talk about hurricanes. We have what we consider 23 official hazards in Volusia County, which is tornadoes and flooding and lightning and pandemics, of course. We all know about the pandemics. But we go out and train the public and them to be prepared for these things and how to take care of themselves for a while. Also, during the year, we have 92 different plans that we monitor and we review and update, and we work with all of our partners to make sure, their name is mentioned in these plans of how we're going to operate with something. So we make sure those partners know what it says in the plan, that that's what they're supposed to do. So, we have, like I said, 92 of them, and it keeps us very busy, lots of meeting with our partners all the time.
So let's even talk about, you just named 92 different plans, 23 different hazards. Let's jump back to Fiona. When would we see effects from Fiona? Just as far as would that be Wednesday of next week, or when will we?
No, if the track stays where their consensus, next week, Thursday, it'll still be out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
But if it would hit us, it's good. Depends on where the storm would come to Florida.
Right.
That would be storm surge, wind, of course. That type of thing. A lot, maybe flooding rains. But those are the hazards we look for. Yes.
Got it. And then when we talk about the plans, disaster preparedness plan. When you look at that and you go to the website, which is just full information, I know we can't do a deep dive on each one of these different segments, 23 different hazards and the things we can do. But if you just look at disaster preparedness plan, there's 7 different steps. Actually, there's 10 different steps on things that we can do as individuals to prepare not only ourselves, but our family, our dogs, our pets, whatever we have. Can you talk about a little bit about disaster preparedness plan, kind of give us the broad overview on things that we can be doing?
Yeah, when we go out and do presentations with the public, we talk about, many times when a storm hits, even maybe if it's catastrophic, you need to be prepared to take some, responsibility for your own safety. And we also ask that, you have a preparedness kit. And most people have heard of this over the years. Red Cross has been preaching the Red Cross kits, emergency kits, since 1950s. So you want to have things that will help you survive without assistance for a few days, up to 7 to 10 days. So, we always say water, of course, is a big one. Non-perishable foods. Put all these things in a plastic container where you'll be prepared if you have to be by yourself. And of course, if there is a catastrophic disaster, a lot of these homeowners and residential areas are going to be on their own for a while, because our first responders are going to go out and deal with the critical infrastructure first, the hospitals, the healthcare system. All of those different areas are going to be first on the list to get restored with electricity, first to check for any damages or injuries and that stuff. The residential areas will be, unfortunately, down on the list some. So that's why we tell people to be prepared. If you don't evacuate and you want to stay, then you need to be prepared to be on your own for a while.
I keep hearing a lot about the VHF radio. I'm from the new generation. I got my phone. Why is a VHF radio or having a radio still like a relevant thing?
Well, I went up to Hurricane Michael in the Panhandle, and all their towers were down. Everything was down. Everything was destroyed. They had no electricity for a long time. So we always say get a battery-operated radio. Hopefully these radio stations here can get back up somewhat quicker. And then, once you have a battery-operated radio, you can get information of, where to go for any kind of assistance you need until, we can get everything back up and going again.
And that's the same for cell phones. I mean, some of the towers could be down, or the cell phones might not work. So those little two-way radios that you can buy at Walmart, that are those VHF or UHF? Those are helpful
all,
too, right?
Just simple, line of sight radios. Amateur radio is getting a resurgence here in Volusia County, and they are very good at being able to talk without big towers and stuff. There's more line of sight relays and that kind of stuff.
In fact, amateur radio, now that you mention it, they have a office, they have an area in the Emergency Operations Center when there is a activation. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have their own space. We've been actually giving them quite a great deal of funds to revamp that room and get it going, and I've actually started having meetings with them monthly now, so it's really starting to build the membership there. And they all have to go through a background check, and I think we've got around 40 members now that are available, not just for, usually we use them in shelters as radio operators, but we can, and they're willing to do this, to do any kind of volunteer operations like traffic control or work with other shelters and different things like that. So
what is amateur radio? I'm sorry, what is amateur radio?
Well, I think that's way back when. They're just like, you remember anybody in ham radios? Mm-hmm. But it's back to the CB days and that. But these guys can talk anywhere in the world pretty much just by using their radios they have.
Super cool.
Yeah, they have
every
a
day.
really long range.
Okay.
Just to jump in here real quick for those listeners with young children, always have a backup of batteries, because I have 2 young boys and they like to get into my hurricane kit and play flashlight tag. So we don't want to be caught off guard in the event we're locked down and we've got 1 hour of battery life left on that.
You got to put a lock on those,
yes,
Clay.
so I was just say definitely make sure you have ample battery backups.
Extra
as well.
batteries, and they do make they make anything now. You can work with a battery, fans and all kinds of stuff, and you can get the actual cranks, the recharge batteries and all that stuff. So, and like you said, yes, when you're planning for riding out a storm or staying in your home during a storm, make sure you have plenty of activities for your children.
Oh, yes.
They will get very restless very quick. But adults will be a little better with that, but kids, they got to have something to do.
And the little portable cell phone chargers too, that actually would be a good idea to have in your house as well. That way, if you don't have power to your house, you still have a battery backup plugging the USB to your phone, and that will get you a few more hours of battery life right there.
Sure.
Good stuff. We're talking with Tom Cisco. Tom is the Deputy Director for the county's Emergency Management Division. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more with Tom. Stay with us.
Hello, Tom Cisco coming to you from the Volusia County Emergency Operations Center. Severe wind damage and flooding can be expected with any tropical cyclone. It is important that you have a plan and know how to execute it in the event of severe weather. If you live in an evacuation zone, make sure you secure your home and head for safety. Keep fresh batteries in your NOAA weather radio in the event the power goes out. And download our free emergency management app from any smart device.
We're back. I'm David Hunt along with Kevin Captain, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Thanks, Dave. We're talking with Tom Cisco. He's the Deputy Director of the county's Emergency Management Division. Tom, let's talk for a minute a little bit about how people can get signed up to get alert information, particularly now that we're in this much more active storm season. The county used to have a program called Code Red where people could sign up and they get these text alerts. The county switched now to a new platform, a more universal platform. To my understanding, it's called Everbridge. Tell us a little bit about it and how people can sign up.
Yeah, Everbridge is a statewide system now that the state is paying for, actually. So we've switched to that. All the data that was in Code Red went over to Everbridge. But to sign up for it, you just need to go to our website and then click on Emergency Management, and then there's a big box there that says Everbridge. Just click on it, it'll take you there. And we have 5 cities that have signed up now, along with the county. So you can live, if one of your cities is not one of the signed up, just take Volusia County and you'll get all the alerts. What that is basically is if there's something happening in your area, we will set off an alert, some sort of alert saying, take this action or not do this. So just sign up and you'll get all those alerts. Then once you sign up, you can make a managed account where you can get more alerts, and you can actually set a time range when you would get those alerts. So yeah, it's a very, very good system. It allows us to reach a lot of people in case of an emergency, and awareness too, just to be aware of things. Sometimes we'll send out messages just so that people are aware.
So it's also, just to be clear, it's not necessarily something that's going to flood or pollute someone's smartphone with a ton of messages. They're only key emergency-related messages with information that really is useful to our residents in Volusia County.
Yes, once you sign up for it, there are certain ones that you will get, but then there's some that you don't have to subscribe to. We have, you can get alerts for a lot of things, but you don't have to get all of them.
Could you give us some examples of like stuff you sent out an Everbridge alert for in the past?
Well, I don't know if anybody's ever got them through Code Red, but the sheriff's office uses a lot of them. If they happen to have like an incident going on in a neighborhood, they will send out a Code Red or now an Everbridge alert, saying please stay in your home until the all clear sign. We usually do it if we call for an evacuation, we'll use the Everbridge system to notify whoever's in that area to evacuate.
And I'm on those too. I get those safety alerts. It's great to know that your division is connected to the sheriff's office when those things happen. And so, for example, if the sheriff's helicopter, Air 1, is circling nearby, maybe they send a message out to the nearby neighborhoods just to tell them to be alert.
Letting people know that there's action in your neighborhood, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and we'll get stuff for Amber Alerts and all those different things. So it's a very good system to alert the public. So sign up.
Great.
Sign up today.
You were saying earlier, Tom, that a lot of the things that you do is outreach during the sort of the lull season, and you said 92 plans. Tell us a little bit about those plans, maybe specifically plan number 75.
All
I'm
right.
just kidding.
Well, we don't actually
92
number
plans
them,
is
but,
a lot.
well, in Volusia County, we have what's called a comprehensive emergency management plan. That is our big main plan, our basic plan. And then off of that, we have different annexes and appendixes and, different plans that go with that. We have the comprehensive emergency plan, then we'll have the terrorism plan. We have a mass casualty plan. We have a pandemic plan. We have what we call emergency support functions that we use in our emergency operations center. We have 21 of those. Each one of those has a plan that we take care of. And in all those plans, like I said, mentions different groups and organizations that assist with that plan. So then our job during the blue skies like it is today is to make sure those people mentioned in that plan know what they're going to do. It's very easy for emergency management personnel to know what's in those plans because that's our day-to-day job. But a lot of the people that we work with during an emergency or disaster, they are called away from their normal duties to come in and work this emergency. So it's our job to make sure throughout the year they know what that job is when they get in the emergency operations center. So when they walk in there, we don't have to retrain them and they have no idea what they're doing. So that's kind of our job throughout the year is to make sure, Kevin Captain sitting right here next to me, he is our ESF 14 lead and he has specific duties that he has to perform during an emergency and he knows what those are because I make sure he knows what those are.
Well, and good point too, Tom, because now that you say that, this week we had the opportunity to be a part of what we call the EM Partners Meeting, the Emergency Management Partners Meeting. And that took place at the Emergency Operations Center in Daytona in your operations room, which is just this massive room that is so impressive. But tell us a little bit about that meeting, how often you have them, and really the importance of the fundamentals you convey during those meetings.
Yeah, we do these quarterly. We've been doing them for a long time now, and it's just a great opportunity not just to provide information, but to network with those people that you are going to deal with during a disaster or an emergency. You're going to see these people maybe on the scene or in our EOC, so you want to meet them ahead of time, and you want to network with them ahead of time so that you know their personalities, you know how they react, and you can just become. I guess I call them my friends now because I see them all the time. But each quarter we meet and we have different speakers. Our staff usually presents what's going on in emergency management, but then we'll have different presenters about different subjects. One quarter we had all about wildfires. We had different presenters about wildfires. And then our next one in December will be more on emergency responses. We want to hear from EMS and fire and everybody that comes, are all our partners, but they all get something from this. They get a little bit of knowledge and especially the networking. That is the most important thing for us is the networking. So yeah, we can just keep everybody up what's going on.
And yeah, y'all do a great job. We are over there a good amount of the time or several times a year getting updated on what we need to be doing. And like you said, there's 23 different ESFs?
There's 21.
21 different ESFs, so we're 14, and it's good to just see how everybody works together and all the different aspects everybody's focused on, and just knowing what everybody else is doing all the time is a great thing. We got word that you're a big trivia guy, and you have a lot of big
Boy,
facts.
have we got some questions for you, Tom.
So give me some. How many lightning strikes do we get a year?
In Florida, we get about 1.2 million.
How many people are hit?
Usually around 40 on average a year.
How many in Volusia County?
Oh, that I don't know.
Boom.
I know.
Where's that button?
I know we have usually, it seems like we have a couple every year I hear and see on the radio or on the news,
Which is why we always give the messaging out, too. Is if there's a storm, even with lightning, we know that the lightning can be many miles away from the storm. So as soon as you start hearing things, you should be indoors.
Yeah, they have that, what's the saying, thunder roars, go indoors.
Yeah.
And don't stay in the pool, get out of the pool. So
how about hurricanes, Tom? What was the most active season Florida's ever seen?
The most active season was 1969. The state of Florida was hit with 8 hurricanes that year. So that was the most so far.
I thought it was 04.
All right. What's the saying you say with the hurricanes? Run from the wind, hide from the
run from the water, hide from the wind.
And that's it.
And that's what when we talk to homeowners, we tell them you don't have to go that far to evacuate. If you're going to evacuate, you don't have to go that far. I had a couple in Michigan, a family in not Michigan, but they lived along the river, and they'd evacuated to Michigan. And they came back 30 days later to their home, and unfortunately their home was filled with black mold. They had to destroy the home because they waited so long. So we tell everybody, if you evacuate, come back as soon as possible to check your home. But you don't have to go that far. Just go where you feel safe.
And this also may be a good plug. Talk about flood insurances real quick.
Oh,
Because when I moved to Florida from Kentucky about 6 years ago, that was a big thing that a lot of people were telling me about, saying just homeowners insurance does not cover flood insurance, so that's separate. So just plug that in real quick about that.
One of the things we say when we go out and doing presentations is I always tell everybody when I'm looking at the group, I say, if you want to know whether you need flood insurance, I tell them to pull out your driver's license. If it says Florida on it, you need flood insurance. So that's what I tell everybody when I go out. I mean, because like I said, homeowners insurance doesn't cover flood, so you need flood insurance.
And I think I actually heard that from you, so that's a good.
That might have been. That's the line I always use to my homeowners out there, that just go ahead and get it. You never know. I mean, I tell people, and I can use the example of Houston when they had that hurricane there, and they dumped 50 inches of rain on top of, an area. If Volusia County had 50 inches of rain dumped on top of it right now, we would see areas in this county flood that you've never, ever seen flood before.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for a break. We'll take our last break and come back and keep talking to Tom Cisco. Stay with us.
Hello, my name's Tom Cisco from Volusia County Emergency Management. If you don't already have one, purchase a NOAA weather radio to keep informed of severe weather. Also, download the Volusia County Emergency Management app to your mobile device or visit our website at volusia.org/emergency and click on Get Connected to sign up for Code Red or email notifications.
Get ready, it's time for another Volusia County Fire Rescue Fire Safety Tip.
Hey kids, safety in the kitchen is important for you too. So mom and dad, when you're in the kitchen cooking, make sure you create a 3-foot safety zone around the stovetop to keep the children safe too.
Go to volusia.org and check out the virtual classroom. It's made for kids, it's awesome, very informative, and it's fun. Check it out at volusia.org.
Practicing good fire safety habits saves lives.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
You're listening to Volusia Today. We're talking with Tom Cisco, the Deputy Director of the county's Emergency Management Division. Tom, with a few minutes that we have left on the show, tell our listeners the many different platforms through which they can get emergency management related information, storms, wildfires, all that good stuff. That you've got all these different types of platforms. Rattle them off for us.
All right, the first one and the main one is our website. It's volusia.org/emergency. You go there, you can look up all of our hazards on there, and there's information pertaining on each hazard. And a lot of our hazards, it's the same information. It's all hazards approaches, just to be prepared. So go there first. We have a app, Volusia County EM on your app store, and that will be the first one that pops up. Load that app. That app will allow you to create your own emergency plan in the app. You will get our Facebook and our Twitter push notices to that app. You will be able to hit a button on there that actually says, I need help, and it'll go to your contacts. Or you can say, I'm okay, and it goes to your contacts. You can look up what the nearest shelter is if you want to go there. But the app is a very good thing to have on your phone. And then again, social media. I always tell everybody during a storm, do not get your news from social media, from Facebook, but use our Facebook. You're going to get true information on our Facebook page. And, that way, you'll get the most and greatest information.
That's a good point.
And then also our Twitter feed. We have a Twitter feed. And then the local radio stations. They do a good job of giving the most updated information and accurate real-time information. So listen to the local radio stations. They do a great job. And then also, if you'd like us to come out to your organization or your homeowners association or anything, you can call our office and get us to come out. We will come out. We love to do it. Like I said, that is one of our primary missions, is to prepare this community and to make you more resilient for when something happens, so that we can it's easier for us if we have a more resilient community to work with.
Wow, that's excellent information. I'm very appreciative of this. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about today, or any other information?
How much time we got,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can tell, I like to talk about this stuff, but yeah, no, just like I said, this is the time to prepare while we have these blue skies, and every year prepare up until June 1st. Get ready, and then June 1st starts the hurricane season, and then once once hurricane season passed, we talked about putting all that non-perishable food in there. Once hurricane season's over, go ahead and eat that food. Have a hurricane party, start getting your beans and weenies out, start eating that stuff, and then start filling that supply kit up again for the next season. So.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. Definitely go check out the website, the social media feeds. If you just go look, you'll be amazed at how in-depth this information is and how many things you might be doing and how many things you might not be aware of. And it's just good to have the knowledge and start preparing, as Tom said. And right now, actually on social media, on your Facebook page, it's Disaster Preparedness Month, correct?
Yes, right now it is. Yes.
So what's going on the Facebook page?
It's just that we identify a lot of different. It's Preparedness Month. A lot of different, however, hazards will be focused on there in the media. So yeah, it's just a special time where we put out things about different hazards.
So, Tom, for a guy who works in emergency management, I'm sure you've got backup to the backup to the backup to the backup at home, right? Wait a minute, there's a pause there.
I always tell the story that I've been doing this for 22 years now in emergency management, and my wife been by my side the whole time. And when we have an emergency or disaster, she evacuates no matter what. So that way I can come to the office and I can focus on my job and not have to worry about her. So I do not have an emergency prepared kit at home because I'm never home during an emergency. But I do have batteries. I have a battery backup fan. I have a lot of that stuff that you see, but I don't have a lot of non-perishable food because, fortunately or unfortunately, during a disaster, I'm at my office doing what I do. So
you're dedicated, and I think we're not going to argue. We accept that plan.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, it's approved. It's approved. So
Thank
real quick also, so I know during an emergency that a lot of people use generators when the power goes out. Can you, in a nutshell real quick, give some generator safety?
yes, generator safety. If you have a generator and if you want to get a generator, make sure you have that generator properly installed by a licensed electrician. Do not try to backfeed it yourself or anything like that. Make sure it's installed in the correct area. Never, ever have a generator inside of your home. Not in the basement, not in the garage, not next to a window outside your bedroom window. Make sure it is safe, that you will not get any fumes from that. Unfortunately, we have people die every year from fumes.
And that is unfortunate. Tom, we're just about out of time. Thank you so much for being here on the show today.
Thank you. Have me back anytime.
With that, we'll close Volusia Today. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.